So in a minute, we'll be joined by Ian McCall, Uncle Creepy. They call him the UFC flyweight contender. Last time we saw him in action, of course, June 8th in Florida. Lost a tough one to Demetrius Johnson, rematch of their great fight back in March. He's been dealing with a lot, and so happy that he has agreed to come on the show to clear up the air. And we are joined by Uncle Creepy right here, right now on the MMA Hour. Ian, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. It's just so great to have you on the show. So happy that you agreed to come on. Let's get right into it. What was it? 2.5 weeks ago, it was reported that you were arrested in California. This story blew up. A lot was put out there. You spent 17 days in jail, finally released, of course, and now you're back with your family at home. Let's go back to that moment, that Tuesday morning, I believe it was, when you were arrested. It was, I believe, August 13th or August 14th in California. What exactly happened there? Why were you arrested?
Well, I'm driving on a suspended. Apparently, I got a ticket. I was on my way home a while back, and I got pulled over, and the cop said, "Oh, your license is suspended, but I'm going to let you go home." I think I was taking my wife home from the doctors or something. So the next day, I figured I got to take my license suspended. I called my agent, Jason House, and I said, let's take care of this. So we went down to the courthouse, and we filed a bunch of paperwork, and I paid off like $3,400 in fines, because apparently I didn't have my license for the past 2 years or something.
Wow.
And I didn't know that. Like, I figured being on probation and going to court and all this stuff, they would have told me, like, hey, your license is, you don't have a license. I've done a lot of legal stuff as far as trying to, correct my life and just been in and out of the courthouse as far as paying fines and doing this and going to probation and, but yeah, no one ever told me. So then I went down to them. I paid $3,400, and then they said, "Yeah, you're cool. You're all good." So my license was reinstated, and then the thing was that they didn't. The ticket I got the day before wasn't in the system, so of course I don't know any better. I mean, I'm spoiled. I get taken care of in every aspect of my life, so I think I'm cool. My agent says I'm cool. Well, I still was supposed to appear on that court date, so I missed the court date, got a warrant. My probation officer, he got, a paperwork saying that, one of your would it make me a probate or probee? I don't know what it is. That, I have a warrant for my arrest for driving on suspended. And he had been telling me, hey, you need to take care of this. You need to take care of this. You need to take care of this. And I promised him, I'm like, listen, I have receipts. I took care of it all. And of course that pissed him off because obviously I didn't take care of it. And then, they came to get me, and that was the main thing.
So when this, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, something weird happened with my headphones. When the initial report came out, it was reported by an outlet, which I guess is based in Laguna Beach, called Stu News Laguna. They said that the reason why you were arrested, it was because you had 2 Harbor Court warrants for possession of narcotic paraphernalia, possession of prescription meds without a valid prescription, and, of course, driving without a suspended license, or with a suspended license, I should say, which you just mentioned. What about those other 2 offenses?
Oh, that's old. That's old news. When I was younger, in 2008, so 4 years ago, I was at a party, and some stuff went down, some stuff got stolen. So the cops came to my house. They raided my house, guns a-blazing, because what got stolen was guns and jewelry. Now, I didn't steal anything, but of course they come over to my house because I'm on probation, and they proceeded to tear my house apart and look for it, and all they found was, they found, a few pills, which, I didn't have prescription for, okay. And then they found a syringe, which I've never shot up anything in my life, but I was draining my ears. I actually trained with one of the cops.
Wow.
I've actually rolled with one of the cops, and I was like, dude, really? You're going to, I'm manicuring my cauliflower ear. You're really going to bust me for that? And he's like, well, I don't know. They I mean, I know you can buy syringes at like, can't you? I'm pretty sure you can buy them at like CVS or something. But for some reason, I got in trouble for it. And then they found, you know, a couple like Vicodin or whatever. I don't even remember what it was. So yeah, that's it. The reason it was brought up with that stuff was because I never did my Caltrans. I had 20 days Caltrans, which is like, you know, work program stuff. You know, you wear a yellow or a yellow vest and you pick up trash on the side of the road. I never finished it from 4 years ago. So that's why it was still open. And that's why it made me look like I was, you know, using drugs or something. I don't know.
Why didn't you finish it? Did they let you go, or was there a reason why you didn't finish it?
I don't know. It just kind of got lost in the fold. I mean, I forgot about it, honestly.
Okay.
Like, it was just, you know, because like I said, I've been to rehab. I've been on probation for 2.5 years since then. I've done all this stuff, and no one's ever brought it up. So I don't know. I just, for some reason, thought it went away or it didn't matter anymore.
So on that morning in early August last month, why did the police stop you?
Well, it's you. I'll be frank. I'll be honest with you. They thought I was a drug dealer. Don't know why. Well, actually, I know why.
Okay.
Someone that doesn't like me, like told them I was a drug dealer. An actual drug dealer that doesn't like me got busted. And this is what I've been told. I've seen the paperwork. He said, "Oh, Ian's a drug dealer too." And they came over to my house and they didn't find any drugs. They didn't find any text messages. They didn't find anything bad. So they're like, "Okay, well, you're not a drug dealer, but your probation officer said to come get you anyways because you have a suspended license." So it was kind of like, I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, why I don't need to sell drugs to make a living. I'm doing all right, you know. So, it was embarrassing, you know, them taking me away in front of my daughter and my wife. And, you know, like they tore my house apart. They tore my car apart. And I guess they were following me from the gym. And they said it was, it would be more embarrassing if you got arrested in front of your gym. I was like, well, I'd much rather be arrested in front of my gym where my coach is a lawyer compared to me being arrested at my house in front of my neighbors and my daughter. You know, I mean, I don't know. Cops are stupid, and they really just wanted to come to the house and search the house. But again, I'm not a drug dealer. I'm not being charged for selling drugs. So, end of the day, I just had to do a probation violation for driving unsuspended. You know, and I get why my probation officer will be mad because my name was even brought up in general with some dirtbag who actually sells drugs and uses drugs. But you know, I guess it is what it is. I just got to write it off as a lesson. Now,
why does this guy not like you?
We used to be best friends. I don't know. It's a long story of the history of stuff. And, I mean, I've had many reasons to go out of my way and beat the crap out of this kid, and I haven't. So I don't know why he would do that. Like, I'm not sorry. I'm not going to waste my time even talking to you. I really don't know. I'm still trying to piece it all together. It's pretty confusing.
So he tells the cops that you sell drugs. They start following you, and then they just stop you on that morning and say, you know, we're going to your house and we're checking this out. They don't find anything, and then they arrest you on this other thing?
Yeah, basically, because they contacted my probation officer, and I already had a warrant anyway, so he says, hey, pick him up for me. You know, I don't want to have to pick him up. You pick him up. You guys already want to look into this investigation, and they did, and, you know, it's just, basically, there's a huge problem with drugs in my area. Orange County has a very seedy underbelly, just like most places, and it's, you know, they wanted to check it out.
So have they, and maybe not apologized, but have they sort of said, okay, you have nothing to do with this, it's the license issue and that's it, or are you still having to deal with being accused of being a drug dealer now?
No. They've. I mean, I have to go to court once more so they can show that they're going to drop everything. But they've already told me that there's nothing to be done. You know.
When's the last time you used drugs?
Man, I don't know. It's been a long time.
All right.
I don't. I'll still, drink a beer here and there, but like that's. I was, when was it? Whenever I overdosed, so a couple of years ago. I don't know.
What was so shocking about this story was, when you made your UFC debut, you did tons of interviews, and a lot more people are getting to know about your story, about your issues in the past, and then, it really seemed like everything was coming together for you here. You were finally in the UFC, you were a top contender, wife, daughter, all that stuff. And then this happens and those charges were attached, and it was, for the MMA community, it was a big shock. So I'm wondering for yourself, like now you're being taken away, you're arrested, now you're in jail, you're in the UFC. What's going through your mind? Like you finally made it, you're where you want to be. How do you deal with this? You're not even with your family, you have no support system.
Man, it's definitely not easy. It's one of those things where I just kind of sat back and tried to take it as a I don't know, man. It was just really confusing, because I've done so well for myself, especially, I was in a pretty bad place, and then I did so much, and now it's like I'm a completely changed person. I do have the wife and the daughter and the career and all this stuff, and it was just confusing. I was like, okay, well, I'm not this guy anymore, which, whatever. I've done horrible things in my past, but I don't do that anymore. I don't know. I was confused. I don't know. I feel like it was a slap in the face from God, like, oh, you're slacking in the gym, Like I don't even know. I was really trying to figure it out in jail, and it was pretty crappy.
So you were in jail for 17 days, right?
Yeah.
What kind of living conditions? I mean, were you with a bunch of guys? Were you alone? What was it like over there?
It was a big 70-man tank. So there's like 70 people living in the same little, I guess you can call it a tank. And compared to the last time I was in jail, the guards are a lot nicer. I mean, they've always been nice to me because I know some of them and they know who I am. But the food was a little better. But I mean, it's gross. It's disgusting in there. It really is. It's cold. It's hard. My butt still hurts because not from, well, that sounded bad.
Well, yeah.
It's just sitting on concrete and metal, and like you have a mattress that's like an inch thick. It's uncomfortable. Like I still need to go to the doctors to go get adjusted and stuff. Like it's really uncomfortable in there, and I guess it's that way for a reason. But it's horrible. And you maybe go out once every couple days out to the roof to see sunlight or see the outside world through a pretty gnarly cage. And I just kind of looked at it as I'm fortunate. Some of these guys in there that I kind of became friends with as far as being in there, they have it a lot worse than me. My bunkie was the head wood or white guy, skinhead guy in the whole level.
Okay.
And like, I mean, he's looking at like 27 years.
Wow. For what?
He's a multiple offender. He got caught stealing or something like that. But it's funny because some guys are in there and they don't care. But some people genuinely, maybe it's fake because they're just in jail, maybe because they want to, get out. But they seem like they don't want to do the crime anymore. But this is all these people know, and I mean, that's quite a lifestyle, thinking that jail is the coolest place to be.
So were you sleeping 70 people in one big room, or are you divided up where you're sleeping with this one guy as like your bunkmate, as you say?
It's one big room, but wow. all the bunks are lined up.
Oh, wow. So were you able to even see your wife and daughter while you were there?
No, my wife is actually on probation with me. we've been through we both have been through quite a lot in our lives. So she's on probation, and so she's not able to see me. And then the only people that came to see me were my coach and people on my team. It's funny that any of my friends that are listening out there didn't come visit me. Thanks.
Wow. Yeah, what was up with that? Did a lot of your friends not come?
No, it was literally just my teammates.
What?
It was my teammates, my coach. Yeah, I mean, but you know what? That's how it goes.
Are you still friends with those guys or girls?
Yeah. I mean, I guess yeah, whatever. I mean, we have a lot of friends that go to jail, so I guess no one really cares. But it's this kind of thing where, I know where I belong, and I belong in the gym. Those are the people that those are the people that really, really care for me.
What's going through your mind when you're there and you're around these people and you fought, sold out crowd in Australia and things like that? Like, did you ever have a moment where, did I mess up again? How did I even get here? Do you have moments like that because I can't imagine what you're thinking about when you're there all by yourself?
Oh, of course. You sit there, and I remember the first day or two, I just was trying to nap, and I couldn't sleep in there. I got maybe an hour of sleep a day for the first 10 days. And I remember just sitting up, and I was like, what the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. This isn't where I'm supposed to be right now. I should be at the gym, at least getting punched in the face, if not punching someone in the face. I'm supposed to be doing better things with my life and, creating a life for my family and stuff. And it was rough, I mean, granted, I don't know, it wasn't that long, but it was long enough. And I guess any matter of time is a long time when you're away from your daughter,
right,
and your wife. Even one night is too much. But it's definitely not a place I ever want to go back to.
Initially, the police told us that you were going to be in jail for 30 days. Why did you get out 13 days early?
Well, the prison system, or jail, I shouldn't say prison, the jail system is so overcrowded that you get half time.
Wow.
So you usually do about half your time. And I was told that because of this pending, allegations that I'm some drug dealer, that I was just going to stay in there until they figured it all out. Or at least I was going to do 90 days, so I would have been for 45. But they just realized that, okay, you're not that guy. I mean, there were DEA agents at my house, and guns drawn and all this stuff, and you can search my house, you can do whatever you want. I don't have anything here, so bring a dog in or an elephant. I think elephants smell better than dogs.
How did they mess up so badly? I mean, DEA. I mean, that's a huge deal. How did they get something so wrong?
I have no idea. It's just the kind of thing where I think they do sweeps where they have a few names. They go find all those people and they check up on all of them and it was actually kind of funny because I went to All In MMA to go spar. Me and some guys from my team went over there, and my GPS was acting funny, and it literally took me. I did 3 U-turns in a row, and they're like, "Oh, we thought you saw us."
Oh.
I was like, no, I just suck at driving.
So now, obviously, you're out. You have this court case coming up in what, a week or so, or is it next week?
I have to call my lawyer. It's pretty soon. I'm pretty sure it's next week, though.
What happens then?
They just say, okay, you're free. We're not good boy. Maybe hopefully pat me on the head and give me my cell phone back.
And what about your license?
Oh, my license. I went to the DMV yesterday. I have to pay $601 to get my license back.
601? Why not just 6?
I don't know. Just to spite me, they added on the extra $1.
So you got it back. You're good to drive now.
Not yet. I'm just trying to get the funds together. I with all the expenses that I've had to pay for, I'm just like, okay, I'll be right back. And I left, and I have the paperwork. So I just need to get together at the 601 and figure out what I'm doing, and then go in and pay it off, and then I'll have my license back.
And I'm assuming your manager or yourself have talked to the UFC. Are you still a member of the UFC?
Yes, they have been. The UFC has supported me the whole time. Shawn Shelby and Dana White. Obviously, I'm sure they're not happy with me being in the situation I'm in. You got to kind of be angry at someone because I've put myself in the situation. I know bad people. I know dumb people. That's just how I grew up. And I guess because I haven't just blacklisted everybody and moved out of the state, like I guess I don't even know. It's confusing, but they're happy and they said that I should be fighting. Hopefully this year, if not, maybe January. There's nothing set in stone. I wanted to fight in November, but I think because of the 151 debacle that I won't be able to fight till January. But there's a lot of flyweight fights coming up till then, so I don't mean to be mean, but hopefully someone, breaks a pinky toe or something so I can step in and hurt somebody.
And obviously, you were very disappointed that you lost the fight to Demetrius, but in a weird way, I almost feel like it was a blessing because had you made it to the finals and would have been scheduled to fight Joseph Benavidez in just a couple of weeks in Toronto and then have to be pulled from the card because of this, I feel like they would have been a whole lot more upset about the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they would have been way more pissed off.
Right.
And no matter what, I would much rather take that situation of fighting for the title and going to jail than not fighting for the title and going to jail. But, yeah, it's the kind of thing where I'll admit it, I'm pretty, I think I took the first fight the wrong way, and I started to slack off a little bit. And I'm always in shape. I didn't work as hard as I should have. My head was somewhere else. And I lost that fight, and now it's all a building. I have to build. I have to beat up whoever they put in front of me, and I have to do it convincingly because otherwise someone else will pass me up, So I have to go out, and I have to really, really, really put the beating on a couple of people, and then hopefully I'll get a title shot at whoever wins.
So you're saying that between the March fight and the June fight, you were slacking off a little bit?
I always work hard, but there was something missing. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the fact that I had been fighting for a couple years straight, and me getting screwed out of the first one. I'm not really sure. I haven't been able to figure it out, but yeah, I slacked off a little bit, and it shows that I got a horrible weight cut. My diet wasn't on point, and I got kind of beat up. I didn't do everything right like I should have, and I paid the price for it. I'm not going to be the first champion ever. Hopefully I can be the second, but that's definitely something that it eats at me every day.
And you were supposed to fight in August in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So obviously you had to pull out of that fight. What exactly happened there, and how are you feeling?
I sprained my knee pretty bad, and it's actually recovered really well. It feels good. I haven't really been wrestling on it yet, but everything else feels good. It doesn't feel loose at all, so I guess we're going to have to, test it out and see what happens.
All right, so at the end of the day, we put a bow on this. You go to court next week, you think. They're just going to sort of say, all right, it's over with, done with. That's all this was. Nothing else is going to come of this. You don't face any other charges. You don't have to do anything else. You're done. You don't have to do that community service, anything that you missed or whatever. It's all good. You go back to your normal life, right?
Oh, I still have to do the Caltrans, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Which is it's weird because Caltrans, no one gets Caltrans anymore. But I have to do 20 days of it. I have, a few months to do it. I'm sure I can extend it because I have a real job. I'm not just some person who doesn't do anything. But I'm gonna pump out. I need to get my license first. But I'll get my license this week, and then from there, I sign up for Caltrans and I get it done. I think you work from like 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then, after that I'll go to the gym and just work my butt off and get back to where I should be.
By the way, last question, just always curious about this kind of stuff. Like when you were in jail, I know you talked about the guards and whatnot, but the inmates, did people come up to you and be like, are you the UFC fighter, and kind of warm up to you and want to hear stories and things like that? Did you have that experience?
Oh, yeah, constantly. I signed some autographs. It's like, I just, I'm a happy guy. I'm not the big tough guy. You know me. I try not to look at the fighter as much as possible. I try to just be happy and have fun with people. But I guess one of the guards was telling me that they have a matted room, to roll in at the jail, and they kept trying to, get me to go down there. And I was like, if you can get me out of this little area for a couple hours a day and roll, I was like, I'll teach you guys all day long. I'll do one-on-one privates all day long. But the sergeant wasn't having it.
Oh, that sucks. And because you are a smaller, like you're not your typical fighter, you don't, you say you don't try to look like one. Did people try to test you?
No, never.
No. Well, that's good. Pretty smart, I'd say.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to, beat up someone in jail and get in trouble. That wouldn't be very fun.
That wouldn't be smart. Well, we're happy you're doing okay. We're happy you're back safe and sound. The MMA world wasn't the same without you, Ian. Good to hear from you, and thanks for clearing it up on the show. And good luck when you have to be in court, whenever that date comes. And looking forward to big things from you when you return to action.
Thank you very much. It's good to talk to you, man.
All right, there he is, Ian Uncle Creepy McCall, joining us on the MMA Hour, clearing up the air about his arrest mid-August last month in California. 17 days in jail, and now here he is, a free man, back with his wife and daughter, and looking forward to getting back into action December, maybe January.